Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. This week, Annie picked The Love Bug from 1968, which is number 2,853 on the ranking list. Someday we'll get to the less than 1,001. I'm Frank Gaffney, coming to you from lovely Aveiro, which is in Portugal. Yeah, I'm in Portugal. With us always, Joel. What are you wearing?
Doctor Strange.
Dr. Bill. Didn't you wear that last week? Did you wash it?
Probably I wash it every week.
Okay. Mark Wotis Gardner. No picture.
No.
Go fuck no cringer.
He's right here on the windowsill, sound asleep.
Sasha's no, I don't know where Sasha is.
Wake up, Cringer.
And Annie King looks like the kitchen where she belongs. Okay. Here's the thing.
Annie.
Annie. Sorry. Do you want to do it?
No, you can go.
Okay. Annie, why the love book?
One of those things I saw when I was young, and it's on Disney, and I didn't have to pay for it.
Here we
All
go.
right then.
Here's the plot. Dean Jones is a struggling racing driver who lives in a converted firehouse with his mechanic friend, played by Buddy Hackett. After purchasing Herbie, a Volkswagen Beetle, he discovers that little Beetle possesses a magical personality and incredible speed. I guess that's the plot. Doesn't no mention of Michelle Lee though.
It's Christine for kids.
I have a note on that.
How funny.
Right. That is funny. All right, so Joel, I love the article you sent us on the background of the story and how it came to be. I think you should post it on the bottom tomorrow or whenever I post this. Okay.
Okay.
I definitely remember seeing this as a kid. I was 11 when it came out, but my family didn't really go to movies, so I probably didn't see it until the late 70s at the Disney Summer Movies, which we've discussed before. And it was a huge hit. It was the second highest grossing film of 1969. Ooh, $51 million, which is $408 million today.
Do you know what the first and third highest grossing films of 1969 were?
Well,
Butch Cassidy?
Yep. Butch Cassidy was number one.
Yeah.
Midnight Cowboy
Midnight
was number
Cowboy.
two. The Love Bug.
Right in
Right
between.
between.
Perfect.
And it also launched a franchise, really. I mean, there were how many more films, Joel?
Oh yeah, there were
Harlow and
three or four more films.
and a remake.
And then there was a TV series, and then there was a TV remake, and then there was a remake in the movie theaters.
Okay,
Although I think they're all connected because
now my phone just said I'm at low battery. So if I disappear, please continue.
Frank, you better go first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, the long credit sequence, we know how that annoys Mark. But let me explain why. You had an extra 3 minutes to get to the movie. In the old days, the trailers were behind the movie. So this was the way, like the orchestra plays the overture. You had an extra 3 minutes. Okay. Dean Jones was cute. Then we saw Mary Poppins' dad, complete 360 here. He is like
180.
360. He turned around and became good again at the end.
That's why he's a 180. Oh, okay.
The car with no driver, pretty funny. And I'm sure they did a variety of things to get that effect, right? Was there a mechanical, right? There was like a remote control car.
Probably something like that. I actually didn't study up on how the film was made. I know that I think they used 10 different cars though.
Yeah. And then I wrote, how did his legs get outside the window? There was like a quick cut, and all of a sudden his legs were out the window. There was way too much in-studio filming with the streets playing in the background, but in the 1960s, I guess, that was a big thing. And then Jack Rabbit Springs, is that from Cars? Isn't that from Cars? Jack Rabbit Springs, aren't these somewhere? All right.
I know.
And didn't Herbie racing around San Francisco look familiar? Hello, what's up, Doc? There's one segment where they get in the Volkswagen Beetle and drive around San Francisco.
Like that.
And quite frankly, Mark, you see, they can train a bear to beat Paddington.
I have notes on that too.
Obviously. And then it was over. It was pretty boring for me. I gave it 2.5 stars. I mean, I can see, obviously, it's adorable. And once you accept the premise, the movie is fine. It's a feel good. But in 1968, it probably went over better. I don't know that kids today would really be that interested.
So it was Radiator Springs and Cars. Jack
Radiator
Rabbit Springs is from Fallout, the video game.
Oh,
And Jack Rabbit's limbs is in Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, exactly.
All right. That's it for me. 2.5 stars. Okay. And surely you've seen this before.
I don't remember if I did. I just remember knowing who Herbie was, so I assume I was shown it on TV. And I absolutely loved everything about it. My dad was Herbie. My favorite uncle was Herbie. My dad owned eventually, when we were in Connecticut, he owned 2 cars, and one of them was a Beetle, which he let me put bathtub flower stickers all over. I said, when poor Herbie was making all those horrible Hollywood gurgling noises, which I've mentioned before, Joel, you know what I mean? When
Yep.
you step on something, goes, and like nothing makes that kind of noise. So he was making all these noises when the whipped cream was put into the gas tank and the car was completely falling apart, and then it rolled and it stopped, and then the fender fell off.
Yeah.
The bumper. I actually laughed at that. After Herbie stopped himself from committing suicide by putting himself in reverse, when he was on the bridge, even though the tires were hanging off,
Yeah.
but he was still able to drive. One cop said to the other, "I think you've been on the Haight-Ashbury beat too long." I thought that was very cute. I can see why I loved Buddy Hackett as a kid. He was one of my favorite actors when I was younger. But oh my God, he was painful. Fucking hate him now. And I loved seeing Michelle Lee, who I'd never heard of until Knots Landing. I was like, oh my God, Michelle Lee, she was adorable. She really did a good job.
She was on Broadway first.
Yes, I read that, yeah. But the guy who played the bad guy, who was from Mary Poppins, who I don't remember because I've seen Mary Poppins maybe once in my life.
David Tomlinson.
I fucking hated him. I hated every second he was on screen. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, that's from last week. I started to talk about Tom Hanks and Edward G. Robinson.
Wow.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks?
Edward G. Robinson. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I said it was a joke I made last week.
Okay.
I wish someone would tell directors that chewing gum on screen is so annoying. And the guy in Key Largo last week was constantly with the gum. And this guy could not run a race without chewing gum. Every single race he had to chew gum, and I fucking hated it.
Yep.
From the article Joel sent us yesterday. Naturally, some critics groused about it, complaining that it was too predictable, too simple-minded, and too far-fetched. These critics strike me as the sort of people who would complain that their ice cream is too cold. Of course, it's all those things, so what? All that matters is if it brings you some degree of pleasure. Well, I can't agree with that. I'm on the team of complaining that the ice cream is too cold. And in conclusion, I'm going to read a very, very short text between Frank and me last Sunday. Last Sunday, Frank flew to JFK and had like a 5-hour layover. Yeah. And then his plane was subsequently delayed an hour after hour after hour. They didn't take off till 11:30. So we're talking back and forth about how horrible this is. And I said, I'm honestly having a worse time at life right now than any of you. And he gave me a sad reaction. But in my mind, I'm thinking that he was thinking, oh, here she goes again, bringing everything back to her. Everything is about her. I'm the one in the airport. But I was like touched that he actually gave me the sad reaction. And then he's disappeared. And he finally came back and I said, no, you have to ask me why. And he said, why? And I said, because at least you're not watching The Love Bug right now. 1.5 stars. This is one of the worst movies we have watched. Oh, and I said, his response was LOL torture, and I said, "Oh my God, this is Joel level torture." I'm so upset
Oh.
right now. I'm shaking. I cannot believe how horrible this movie was. I'm like in shock at
That's
how
a
bad it
challenge
was.
to me.
Every
But you're-
second of it.
But you're not an 8-year-old boy.
I thought, okay, maybe 8-year-olds back then would have, I guess they would have loved it if it made $400 million in today's money, but oh my God. We were a bunch of idiots in the 1970s. We liked this movie.
I mean,
Oh, and then I started watching the Lindsay Lohan one. I said, well, let me compare it. It is like the exact same movie. I got 15 minutes into it and I said, I can't do this. This is horrible. But I do love anthropomorphizing things and making them human. That's why,
That's why you like
R2D2 or whatever.
That's why you like
becomes like a little
Christine.
baby. Huh?
That's why you like Christine.
And
I love
Paddington.
Christine, yes.
Mark, were you just as tortured?
Yeah, I'll preface this by saying, Annie, I love you and I appreciate you, but not this week. I just wrote it's not a good start. First, the credits that went on way too long. Then the fakest car ride ever, followed by a really fake set piece. That like the house, the whole background of the house was just clearly not real. I think I liked this movie better when it was called Christine, is what I wrote. I remember liking this or the sequels when I was a kid. So I didn't like Amy said, I didn't remember 1 second of this movie. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I know who Herbie is, and I must have seen something. I was a kid back then, so I'm sure I saw something, but just not this one. So now, alas, my severe sophistication and maturity has prevented me from liking it at 51. Herbie trying to commit suicide by jumping off the bridge was the last straw for me. I try to allow for the fact that it was a G-rated movie from 1969, but I just didn't like it. And then Buddy Hackett speaking Mandarin. And I wonder if that's the same bear that was in Escape to Witch Mountain, is what I wrote. And regarding the chewing of the gum, here's my issue with it. Okay, the G-forces that you're under while driving a race car. I got a buddy who is into Formula One. And he tells me all the stuff that you have to do that it would prevent you from actually chewing gum, especially doing it like this. You wouldn't be able to. You would literally the gum would get sucked down your throat. You die. And I kind of wish that would happen to him because he was kind of a douche. Getting bit by a spider and turning into Spider-Man is more believable to me, is what I wrote about the chewing the gum while driving a car. I know Frank's gonna beat me up after this, but I don't care. Then Jim taking shortcuts to cheat on the final race is just bad form. And it's a bad lesson for kids. This is a kids movie.
Yeah, but the bad guy cheated like crazy and was constantly trying to kill them.
Well, you knew
Which was
that.
okay.
But there's other people in the race. That's all. It was an unfair win.
What were there? Were there really
Mark?
other people in the race?
There was a whole bunch of other people in the race. And rolling a tree trunk. That came from nowhere, by the way. Down the street is even less believable than a bear that isn't strong enough to hold a bucket in that goddamn in Paddington.
But that you're going to pick on.
Yes.
But a car can have its own thoughts. and
Well, yeah,
ideas.
yeah. That's the basis of the movie. I was fine with that. But the end of the movie, with the back half of the car, with no method of acceleration on its own, winning the race, made me outright angry. And I know this is a kids movie. I get it, but I guess because
This is not the way you teach kids about physics and
yes, exactly. Anyway,
Or
that was the
about
final.
what's right and wrong. obviously.
That was the final nail. That was the final nail in the coffin for me. And so I thought I was going to be the lowest here. I tried to like the movie, but it's just not for me. 1.75 stars. I have zero love for the Love Bug.
Frank, I can't believe you gave this the same stars you gave Love at First Bite. Fuck you.
Actually, I looked at the list and I'm like, oh, well, I like this one better than Love at First Bite. So I better give it 2.5. Joel, you certainly saw it as a kid.
Oh yeah, I've seen all the Herbie movies, and my intention yesterday when I was watching this in the morning was to then
It always is.
plow through everything. That didn't happen because it took me an Amy or Mark amount of time to actually get through The Love Bug. Not because of the film itself. There's just so much going on here yesterday that I just took me a lot longer than I wanted it to get through the movie. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with Herbie for today. That's enough. So yeah, I saw it as a kid. It's it's a typical Disney film from that era. They
Yeah,
all kind of have similar vibes to them. You kind of either look at them now as, okay, it's a nice piece of nostalgia that I liked as a kid that I don't like as much as an adult, and I'm okay with that, or you just hate it completely and you move on with your life.
yeah, but it was never, we were never the target audience for this movie.
Well, now we're not, but back
No,
then,
of course, that's what I mean.
um,
Adults weren't the target audience.
no, but Disney did make films that, even though they were made for kids, they were essentially trying to make more family-oriented films so that the entire family could enjoy them. And I
Right,
think back then, families did enjoy the films. If they hadn't been, it wouldn't have been the second highest grossing film of the year.
right,
Um,
that they wouldn't have kept making things like that.
Exactly,
Right.
and admittedly, from what I remember about the subsequent films, they do get hokier and worse, and they don't really follow the next film has Helen Hayes as Buddy Hackett's aunt, and now she has the car, and nobody from the first film's in the second film, but then Dean Jones is back in the third film, and there's a bunch of weird things like that, and then anyway, but Herbie's always the same, and that's the thing you love. It's Herbie.
So
You know,
true.
that's what you're seeing the film for. The rest of it's just,
Did they do in subsequent movies what they did in the Lindsay Lohan movie, which was give Herbie eyelids for the light, so
no,
that
that
he's really he was looking around and everything?
I think that was just for the Lindsay
The
Lohan
remake.
version, the remake.
Yeah,
Was
I
that
don't ever
when
remember having islands.
when was that remake done?
uh the
Well, I mean,
90s or
yeah,
2000 or
the late
something like that.
90s. It
Yeah.
was Lindsay Lohan, sure.
Well, but
Yeah.
it could be a 30-year-old Lindsay Lohan. I'm assuming she was a kid there.
Yeah, she was, yeah.
Okay.
But she was a race car driving kid.
Oh, sure.
Her father's Michael Keaton in that movie, if I remember correctly.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes,
Um,
you're right.
and then there was, Disney had a period of time in the 80s where they were remaking their popular films from the 50s and 60s into TV
Yeah.
movies. So there's a TV movie version with Bruce Campbell in the Dean Jones role, that you can't find anywhere because they never released it on home video. So go
How
Was it
figure.
that bad?
embarrassed they were.
I don't remember. I think I saw it once on the Disney Channel, and
All right, Joe, go
anyway,
back. Focus, will you, on the
I can't
love part.
focus. There's too much going on right now.
1969.
So anyway, yeah, the year I was born, 1969.
Right.
Um, it is what it is. I'm not gonna, I'm having a hard time, judging it for what it should be or what it might be or what it could have been. It's I'm gonna kind of agree with you, Frank. It's 2.5, 2.75 at tops at this point. Type of movie. It's not a movie designed for us as a group to be watching, quite
Exactly.
Not a
honestly.
movie designed for human
honestly,
consumption.
Yeah.
I honestly would like to see the reaction of some modern day kids.
I
Sure.
would too. I
Yeah.
would too.
I know. I think Duncan's seen it because there was a point in time, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, where he and Natasha were, because he'd have thunderstorm issues, so they'd hide in the basement. They'd watch movies, and they tended to be things on either the Disney Channel or well, I guess Disney Plus wouldn't have been 5 or 6 years ago, but I think it's one of the ones he's seen, and I think I remember him saying it was fun, and then just kind of moving on with his life. So it's the reason I sent that article is because it's a great article. That whole Substack is a great Substack to read because all he's been doing for the last 7 or 8 years is going through every film that the Disney Corporation has made and analyzing them, and that's why it's called Disney Plus or Minus, because it's either a good film or a bad film. And we lost
His
Frank.
battery ran out.
So, but I do highly recommend reading that Substack, and I will post it in the comments.
Yeah, it was a good article.
Yeah,
And
they
Joel,
all are. It's really worth reading. If there's any Disney films that you really like, Even if he doesn't think it's a good movie, they're well researched and well done. So
Hmm.
And I haven't read that yet, but I certainly will. But I just want to go back to it actually has been 5 or 6 years since Disney Plus is
yeah, I have
five
no
and a
sense
half. Yeah.
of time anymore because
Because we started this in 2021, which was ridiculously 5 years
okay,
ago,
yeah,
and we already had watched WandaVision and stuff like that. So
right,
yeah.
okay, yeah, all right. So it may have been on Disney Plus. I can't remember anymore. So Annie.
Yeah.
So, Mark, there are so much worse in the Disney catalog. So don't you worry.
Oh no.
For every martial arts movie I've got to watch.
All right, I'm adding
Shaggy
a few more
Dog
martial
by
arts movies.
Annie is next.
Hmm?
What is?
The Shaggy Dog is her next Disney one.
The original.
Yeah.
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 Never saw it.
Oh, there's so many. The Apple Dumpling Gang, Gus, so many. Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out. I quit.
And now I've been challenged to come up with something even worse than this by Amy. So
Nobody's challenged you, Joel.
every time you say this is more torturous than what Joel said or what
Make
Joel made us watch.
make Amy watch it only.
Yeah. Well,
So
it was just one of those things. I remember going to the theater back when I was younger, and you get to watch like two movies, the double feature, and I actually enjoy them all. And I probably haven't seen it since I was 10 or whatever, but I remembered a lot of it. It was funny, that I remember as much as I did. And then I actually got to Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, which was, and I remember that too. I remember the whole
Wow.
yeah, that was crazy. And then I'm like, what happened? Because it jumped 12 years later and it didn't mention his marriage or anything. So I was like, well, I must have gone out of order. So
Yeah.
I
Well, I
supposed
think
to go
go ahead.
back and watch Herbie Rides Again, but I didn't get to it.
Yeah, Herbie Rides Again would have been the second film, if I remember correctly. Hang it. It's Love Bug, Herbie Rides Again, Goes to Monte Carlo, Goes Bananas, and then it's the TV movie in 97 and Fully Loaded in 2005.
That's the
Yeah.
one with Lindsay.
And
Yeah.
Annie, I totally get it. Like I like movies from the 80s, Never-Ending Story, stuff like that I saw as a kid. And so they're not great movies by today's standards, whatever. But I get it. As a 10-year-old, you fell in love with it or whatever. So
You know, your memory must be better at that age.
it is. Well, it has a bigger impression on you. Yeah. It sticks
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't torturous. It wasn't great, but it was fun to revisit. So, what you guys all said, the Chinese part was just so funny. And then I noticed like so many stereotypical stuff in
I
Disney
I
movies.
did too, but I was surprised in 1968. Everyone keeps saying it keeps going back and forth. Was it 68 or 69?
The movie
No.
actually premiered in 1968. It didn't go into wide release in the country until 1969. So
Okay. So at that time, even with the stereotypes they portrayed, I thought they at least who was the main guy, the guy with the money that funded the race?
I can't remember the character's name, but the actor's was Benson Fong, I think.
Okay. And I thought that at least there he wasn't treated as a goofy Chinese guy. He had money. He was
Well,
kind of respected.
And he
so
was played by an
by
Asian.
an actual yes.
Yeah.
So I did appreciate that part.
I loved how something was called Tang Wu in the movie. I'm like, I wonder if Wu-Tang Clan got their name from that. Annie, I'm going to note in the text how many stars you gave it, so
We don't know yet, do
we
we?
don't know. No.
Yes, no, I'm at 2.75.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know I kind of wavered between the two, but I will go with Annie as well. We'll bump it up to 2.75.
Did you hear that, Frank?
Yeah, I'm noting that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we done? Because if we are, I will announce next week's movie that I happen to have on my paper.
Ah.
So Herbie, well, it's not called Herbie the Love Bug. I'm sorry. The Love Bug is available to stream on Disney Plus if you subscribe to that service.
I just want one quick thing. Anybody else of our age having that, going through their head while they're watching it? The Love Bug.
Yes.
I did not have that
Yes.
happen, but
100%.
now
That's
it
so
will.
funny that you said that.
That's funny.
Next week, Joel picked The Phantom Toll Booth from 1970, which is not streaming, but is actually streaming for free on regular YouTube.
Right. But with ads.
Yeah, I'm sure with ads. I'd started watching it.
Okay.
So that is all. I am Amy Goldman. Go watch a movie.
And with
And-
you. And also with you.